Welcome to Lunch with Lawrence, episode 8, featuring my guy, Rodney Mitchel in the house, owner of Sarzo Construction. How you feeling, Rodney?
What's up? I'm feeling good. You?
Oh, man, all is well, man. One, let me start off with the show by saying congratulations on 10 years of having Sarzo Construction.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
major, man. You know, most people, you know, they get into this entrepreneurship and, 1, 2, 3 years is like, but to be doing it for 10 years, I take my hat off to you, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, what is Sarzo, man? Where did the name come from?
So I started off, my name was Visions Construction.
I remember Visions Construction.
That was the original name I had. Then when I got into more of the legal side of things and trying to actually bring a business and all that, it was a lot of construction companies that had the name Visions Construction and Visions in it. So about 3 to 4 years in, I changed the name.
Okay.
And I did Sarzo, which I have 2 daughters named Sarah and Zoe. So Sarzo is just the SAR from Sarah and the ZO from Zoe.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's the same thing I kind of did with my business, LML, Ohio Properties. LML is the initials of my children, London, Madison, and Lawrence. So as you know, we both are great, excellent fathers, man. we love our kids. We're going to name companies after them. You know what I'm saying? So with every guest, man, I always like to have my guests take me back to how you got into the entrepreneurship journey. Has it always been construction for you?
Yes.
Okay.
After high school, I went to Cleveland Job Corps and I took up a carpentry trade. I knew I didn't want to go to college. Like I knew that wasn't something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so I took up the carpentry trade. Then I went into the Carpenters Union, which was very lucrative. Like we made good money. You make $34 an hour. You get benefits, all that. I was 18, 19. So it was, good money at that time. And it was just, there's not a lot of black people in the trades or in the union in general. So it was a lot of dealing with, you can outwork or, they give you these quotas. So just they say like you need to get up 300 lineal feet of wall, right? You can get up 400 lineal feet of wall, but some Caucasian might get 250 lineal feet. But when layoffs come, you'll get laid off first. And then each project has like minority hours. A certain amount of minorities have to work on this project, blah, blah. So they're like bouncing you around a lot just to get their minority hours here or there. So once I got tired of that, it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to just start my own thing where it's more consistent.
So hold on. So how long ago was this when you started your own thing? What is it the 10
21.
21.
So I'm 31 now. I started.
Oh, so it's a 10-year. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Wow.
I started
Congratulations,
when
man.
I was,
never knew how old you was, Rodney.
Yeah.
You young, man. You a young dude, bro.
Yeah. I started when I was 21.
Wow.
So now, 10 years later, I'm 31.
Man, that's dope, man. Yeah. It's crazy. Similar stories. Like I started in my entrepreneurship journey when I was 21 as well, official. So your last job that you ever worked was working for somebody else. I
was 22. It was the Juvenile Justice Center on Carnegie.
Okay. So you didn't go into another job after the union.
No, that's still part of the Carpenters Union. So the first year it wasn't like I could just walk away and still afford all my bills and everything like that. So I just went back as needed. Like I would still work in the in the union doing projects and stuff like that. And then once after I did the Juvenile Justice Center, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna just quit and whatever it is.
Was the pay always the same? Was it like that $30-something an hour?
No, so you started off at like 18, and then they put you in the union is actually beneficial. I tell people all the time to go. Okay. You'll learn a great skill set. They teach you everything, and they actually pay for you to go to school.
Okay.
So you go to school every, I want to say 3 months, because you go, 4, 8, 12. You go to school 4 times a month. So your job, it's an apprenticeship. Okay. So your job allows you, whatever company you work for, I was working for Maroo's Brothers or something. So they allow you to leave for a week and go to the training center. The union has their own training center out in Richfield.
Okay.
So you'll go to the training center for a week, and then when you come back and you pass that class, it counts as a college credit at Tri-C, and then you'll also get a raise. So like each time you complete, and it's a 4-year program, so where you become a journeyman carpenter.
Okay. So again, and you may have said it, but like, so I see how you got into the entrepreneurship journey. But why did you go that route as far as being a carpenter? Like when you were in high school, did you ever think like, you know, your 9th grade, 10th grade, like what made you go into that field?
Yeah. In school, I always knew that I didn't like school. I didn't like high school. Okay. So I knew I didn't want to go to college, but I know I've always liked working with my hands. And my stepdad, you know, was a union laborer, so he would do decks and projects and little stuff like that. So when they had the program open up at Job Corps, it was the first year they were doing the program. And it was just like, okay, I'm getting out of high school, I'm 17, like, let's see what I can do. So I ended up liking the program and just kept it going from there. Okay.
And so then once you got done, once you left the juvenile center part, and you already had visions, at the time it was visions.
Yes.
You already started visions, and then from there you was like, I'm gonna just go full-fledged with this journey.
Yeah, whether you pay the bills or not, right. Yeah. I'm about to struggle for a minute. But
so I met you. So when I met you, and Sarzo is such a, you know, you branded yourself really well, because I totally forgot about Visions until you mentioned it. Because when I was doing business with you, it was Visions Construction.
Yes. Yep.
And I just couldn't even remember the name. I'm like, man, what was this company called? So you went from Visions and Sarzo, and so now you've just been on this journey, 10 years in the construction field, carpentry field, doing all types of renovations. So when I first met you, you know, as you know, I'm doing the, you know, project management, investment side of things. So I'm like, you know, inner city Cleveland, a couple suburbs here and there back then. But when I met you, we were doing, I don't even know how we got connected. I probably do know, whole other story off camera. Whole story off camera. But, you know, we started doing business together. So back then, I know you were more so doing like residential homes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So talk about like that journey. How did people find you? Like, how were you marketing your business for people to come do business with you? Because now I see you all over the place. I mean, you're obviously built up that reputation of referrals. But before I'm gonna let you talk. But before you got into like doing we're gonna get into like the whole salons and the shops and all that big major stuff. But before all that, it was just like residential, right?
Just residential.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, I did. I was just doing residential, and I will post on IG or something every once in a while.
Before and after
I probably
pictures.
had before and after pictures. I probably had maybe 80 followers on IG. And shouts out to Essence, Style Bar owner.
Yeah.
Essence found me on IG, and she hired me to do her salon renovation.
When on Mayfield?
So yeah.
Okay.
Style Bar in Lyndhurst on Mayfield. So she hired me to do that project. Once I did that project, it was kind of like a lot of doors just open for me as far as other salon owners and business owners, barbershops. And then for a while, that was like our niche. We were just doing majority salons and barbershops, like as a main, our main source of projects.
Yeah.
So after that, it was, you know, then people will be able to go on there and see older pictures of residential and stuff like that. And it kind of just took off from there.
Man, yeah, I see you killing it. Every time I'm online, I see it. So, talk about like the transition from. I have a lot of questions for you. This one. So it's so many things going on in my mind. Like, okay, because I didn't write it down. You know, we free flowing. So, I want to know, how did you go about getting the people that work for you? Because obviously, you can't do all these jobs yourself, right? So, how do you build your team? Talk about the journey from employees working for you, you know, not even layoffs, having to cut people off, having to, like, you have a good team now?
Yeah, I have a good team. I enjoy working with all the people I work with now.
Okay, but in the past, team could have been a little different.
Yeah, honestly, in the past, like it's been plenty of times where I had like a full schedule, like 3-4 jobs going, and I'm like, you know what, everybody fired. We just gonna start. Fuck it, we gonna start from scratch. Right. Y'all ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but you have to do that sometime. I think one of my challenges was being young and then trying not to have this strict work environment. Mm-hmm. So it's like we could laugh, we could play, we could joke, but we still got to produce. And it was always like that blurred line of like when not to joke and play and when to produce.
Was most of your people that work for you, I mean, they're older than you, right?
Yeah, most of the people are older than me, so I would deal with a lot, you know, I would always use like one of the Craigslist or jobs.com or something to hire people. And then also my dad does this type of work, my little brother, so I would use them a lot. And they really helped me in the earlier years build up my company.
That's what's up. Another question I have, man, is you will only be the guy that would be able to answer this question, Rodney.
Okay.
Cleveland, Ohio has a lack of good, solid contractors, right? As an investor that works with a lot of investors that invest money in Cleveland, even myself, man, I've been doing this for 15 years, and I have like my 3 main guys that I deal with, and even sometimes they drop the ball quite often. Right. I put a post out the other week, like I'm looking for solid contractors to join the team because you know my contractors all make 6 figures doing business with me, but it's like these guys just don't want to work. They don't want to keep their word. They dropping the ball. They don't show up. They don't got money to pay for materials. Like, what separates you from all those guys? And like, how did you just, talk about like, I guess I'm asking a lot of questions within this one question.
I'm following you.
But you following me, man? So I guess the first question is, when you look at Cleveland, look at contractors, where do you draw the line? Like, why do you think that people say, man, it's hard to get a good contractor in Cleveland? Are you
honestly?
Go ahead,
I would say this is gonna sound bad. It's half the contractor and then half the people.
Oh,
like
okay.
it's halfway.
I want to hear it from your side.
Yeah, it's halfway the customer and halfway the people. Like, so I think, I don't know if I can't speak for anybody else, but it's us. We always go in with the intentions to do your project, do everything correctly or whatever. But also just from learning experience. Because in my earlier years, there was those years where like you get the deposit and you might have underestimated the job. Yeah. So you think it could be done for
X amount of dollars.
Exactly. Yeah. But it can't. So now that you're taking the deposit, you done paid out to your workers, you done paid out to the electrician, you done paid out to this person, that person. So now it's like, I got to get more money from them. But customers aren't understanding to that. They're like, well, you said this is this, stick to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Which I can respect.
Right.
But at the same time, it don't always work out that way. So that's one issue, and then just having an understanding of like scheduling. I think the main thing for contractors are scheduling. So it's like in our head or in the customer head, everything has to go is planned or according to what you told them. But as the owner of a construction company or anybody who's in this field, you understand that that's never how it's gonna go. I can open the wall up and it would be no way I knew what was behind here. Yeah, unforeseen.
So when you're giving quotes, do you have an unforeseen like charge, like unforeseeables? Like it may be another 2,000 or 15 based on the job size.
So in the beginning, I didn't. Okay. Like now we have a contract and planning fee on our bill, which is whatever your job total is. We charge you additional 20% of for contingencies. So now when there's certain things that come up, I don't have to contact you. I don't have to bother you and tell you like, hey, we're going to have to replace all the shutoff valves or we're going to have to do X, Y, Z. It's just like it's already budgeted within that contingency. But that came years later after like learning and constantly running into the same issues or problems and stuff like that.
Yeah. Where do you find yourself and we're gonna get back into the contractors part, but when it comes to doing projects, what type of project do you prefer mostly? Do you prefer the salons? Do you prefer high-end residential? Do you prefer the investment inner city Cleveland? You know, where do you find yourself like, I like these projects more?
I prefer commercial and high-end, like residential.
Retail,
as far as kitchens and basements, bathrooms, I'm kind of over the bathrooms. Like, I don't know.
Okay.
It's not much money in them.
Oh, okay. Well, so you've done some pretty dope bathrooms, but I see what you're saying.
They dope. It's just not a lot of money in them. You know, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Most people got a certain amount of square footage in the bathroom,
Right.
and then it's like I can spend 2 weeks on this bathroom or 2 weeks on the kitchen and get 3 times the amount of money on the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And then really commercial. This year I'm more focused on commercial because everybody's at home working from home.
Yeah.
So like in the middle of you working, they're like.
Yeah.
Guiding the job. So I prefer to do houses that people don't live in.
Oh my God, yeah. I could see that all day.
Yeah,
and people don't understand it. Like they you could show them the vision, like, oh, this is what your product will look like. But when they're coming into a job in the middle of a renovation, when everything is everywhere, they start asking questions, knowing that this is going to be done. But I could see how that could be irritating.
Yeah. So if they living in a house and you like painting, like, well, they didn't paint this or they didn't, you know, like, well, allow them time to touch it up. It's day one to paint. We're gonna be painting for a week, like, you know, so that kind of stuff like that. I'm really just trying to focus more on on commercial projects this year. At least so everybody go back to work, or vacant homes.
Okay. I see you recently did Michi's spaces.
Yeah, salon lofts. Like how was that project for you? Like from start to finish, like what was the timeline on that project to do all that? The timeline that we set was, I believe 8 weeks we set, but the more was around 12 or 16 weeks. Okay. But that's moving. You know, you got to deal with the city. You got to deal with inspections. Right. Yeah. You got to deal with unforeseen stuff. Like maybe we were going to run the plumbing through the walls, and then the city say, after they approve the blueprint, they might say, no, we didn't know this was behind the wall, so now you got to go through the floor. So it's a lot of moving stuff. But me and Michi, we fight all the time, but we love each other. Yeah. But she was actually very graceful through the project. So like this was like one of our easier projects together. Okay. It really was an enjoyable experience as far as how everything went and worked out or whatever. And then she was happy with the product at the end. And so I see it
online, man. I gotta go. I told her I gotta come in there and check it out, man. It looks like it's just a really nice, dope space.
Yeah. It turned out really nice.
Mm-hmm. So that brings me to a question. You said the city, like, so what city you find the most difficult working with? When it comes to like having the pool permits, getting the inspectors out, is there any city where it's like they just asking too much?
Shaker Heights is a little strict. Like they're pretty strict as far as getting the paperwork and permits and everything. It's cool, but as far as their standard or what so if you build a new garage, like it's like we need the same shingles on the garage that's on the house, but you know there might be a slate roof from
a long time
ago.
50
years ago, and they want you to go find these shingles, or they want you to find the same light on the house that's on the garage. So then you ultimately like gonna change all of them just to match, or end up changing your house roof. However, sometimes it just might be cheaper. So Shaker's always been pretty difficult. We don't really work. We get a lot of backlash for this. We don't really work in the inner city.
Yep.
Because
I'm in the inner city. I take all the inner city projects, y'all. There's a lot of money in the inner city. But
and this the reason. We had too many experiences where it's like we closing out the job, or you done, and then somebody breaking the house, and it's like, who pays for that? Do I pay for it? Do the customer pay for it? Like, hey, they stole your hot water tank. They just kicked the new doors off the hinges that I just installed. Like. So it's a lot of that. You got to you can't leave your tools in there. You got to pack them up every night and reload them. And, you know, I prefer to just leave the tools in the house, lock up, and come back the next day.
You grow, you elevate, you know what works, you know what doesn't work, and you just once you find what works, you just stick with that. So
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I get it, man. You're single, right, Rodney?
Yeah. No, I'm actually in a relationship. I'm actually in a relationship.
Okay, but you're not married though.
No,
You're
I'm not married.
Okay. Before you got into a relationship that you're in now, how is like the dating scene when it comes to having that flexibility and just kind of being able to do what you want, and a woman understanding, like, listen, this is who I am. These are my hours. I can work crazy hours. I have my daughter. Like, how do you balance dating when you are doing everything that you're doing?
I think dating hard, actually, because it's like a lot of times I'm tired. Like when I get off work, I'm tired. I might have been up since 6 in the morning. Then on the weekend, it's like I want to chill. I co-parent, so I have my kids some weekends. And I just think overall it was hard dating. It was, or I ain't going to say hard dating, hard getting into a relationship and taking somebody serious. It was easy to date, go out, have a good time, talk,
Right.
chill, laugh,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's the
But
easy part. That's the fun part.
Yeah, it was easy to have fun. But as far as investing your time and getting somebody to understand you and just accepting your lack of availability, I say, is hard.
Yeah. Are you? And I don't know who you're in a relationship with now, but when you are dating, do you typically date somebody who's also in the entrepreneur field as you, or
No,
it doesn't matter?
It don't matter.
Not in the same field,
I know
but
what you
also
mean.
entrepreneur.
No, I've never cared like what type of business, or I mean I care to a certain extent, but I'm saying like it's not that important that you have to be an entrepreneur just because I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Just as long as you understand that our schedules are a little different. I do find it hard though. A lot of times the problem me and my girl have is I can get off work or just travel or go on vacation all the time. There's no limit to how many vacations I take, but she works in corporate America, so it's like I got sick days, I got off days, we got to save some for Christmas, like that type of stuff. But other than that, it's never been a problem as far as dating somebody in corporate America.
Yep. Okay. That's what's up, man. So my man Rodney's off the market, man. You're not available, man.
I'm unavailable, y'all.
Unavailable. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. How's things as far as like with the kids, man? Being a dad, I see you taking the kids on a lot of vacations, and once again, you have that flexibility as running a company. So, matter of fact, you're in a position where you're able to travel out of state, go on family vacations, and business is still going, or do you have to kind of stop things and put things on a pause when you are traveling?
No, we still work if I travel. I don't think that'd be fair that,
the guys have to stop working.
you don't get a check this week because I want to go out of town, or So
and that's good business.
No,
practice.
work still goes on when I'm out of town.
Okay. So what projects have you done this year in 2021, man? That's like your top best project.
I say the lofts. Like I really enjoyed how the lofts turned out. That was my first salon loft. It was a big project, and I just was overall pleased with how it turned out and everything.
So here I am. I'm a young dude. Maybe I went through the union or whatever, right? I want to start my own construction company. Like, talk about the steps that one should take to get started. Like, I know you have to get certain licenses and certain insurance and stuff like that, right?
Yes. I feel like, so first have experience, and I always tell my guys, like when I'm when I'm upset, like I can do all this by myself, like, so it's like, I don't take on anything that I can't do. So like because I can depend on if the electrician don't show up, I can do all the electrical myself. If the plumber don't come, I can do the plumbing.
Okay.
So
you're a jack of all trades then. Like,
over the years I've learned. My dad does all of them as well. He does like carpentry, electric. So he taught me all the electrical and stuff. I know plumbing as far as in plumbing. I went to school and learned all the carpentry skills and stuff like that. So I just don't take on anything I can't do, because it's like at the end of the day you have to depend on somebody else, and if they become unreliable or things happen, life happen in their life, then you're affected by it. So I try and only take on projects where it's something I can handle. One of the main things I would say would be to just make sure you're ready, and you have to have a lot of discipline to do this job, because nobody's making you get up, nobody's making you stay on schedule. Somebody's giving you thousands of dollars, and it's up to you to be responsible to pay your guys on time, order all your materials ahead of time, and stuff like that. So it's not, most of the times, well, all the time, I don't get paid to the end of the project. So the money that I'm collecting throughout the project is simply
it's funding the project,
fund the project and the employees. And then at the end is where, the bottom line is what majority of the time you get. So it's just about being financially ready. One of the things I wish I did different when I first started off was I just wish I had more knowledge of like the insurance and lawyers and laws. So I used to just go do a job, no contract, no nothing. Like, okay, this is what you want. I'm gonna write on this paper, and then like that. So I would say make sure you get you a good attorney to get you a good contract, etc. Actually, I had your wife do my contracts. Oh, ex-wife.
Wife at the time. That's all right.
Yeah, wife at that time.
Shout out to Catherine.
Yeah. So that was just one of the advice I give. Like, just get you some paper, get your paperwork and your contracts and stuff in order, and you gotta have discipline, and just make sure you're knowledgeable of the projects that you're taking on.
That's good, man. That's good. Ben, I want you to share you don't have to like say any names, but like share a bad experience, right? Where you got into a job and things just didn't go right. Because at the end of the day, like as an entrepreneur, things don't always go smooth. Just like you said, you had a lot of learning experiences in the past. It's funny, I've never shared any of my experiences on Lunch with Lawrence. I will, I can today. I can share one today. But, I always tell people like entrepreneurship, like once you start, the money starts coming in, you don't have everything tight, you're going to run into problems. I've been sued twice. I think maybe 3 times I've been sued.
Yeah. So I've probably been sued a few times, and I've sued people several times.
Yeah.
But the worst experience I feel I had was maybe a few years ago. There was a customer, and we have contracts, we have paperwork, and it's like she paid a deposit, and we have on our contract it says that we can work at our own discretion, meaning like, because oftentimes people think like, you're going to be there every day, Monday through Friday, So we let them know ahead of time, like, there may be a day or two we not there.
Right.
Like, there will be gaps in the contract, but at the end of the day, we're going to finish on our scheduled completion date. Yeah. So this particular customer didn't like that we didn't come for, like, 2 days. Now, it's a 6-week project. We only in, like, week 2. Yeah. Like, y'all ain't been here for 2 days. Like, this was a bar. Yeah. And she's like, you haven't been there for 2 days. And we're like, okay, whatever. Like, so then the next day she called and she was like, I'm just going to get my money back and blah, 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 whatever. And it's like, okay, well, we have rules in our contract about how refunds are issued and blah, 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 whatever. So we told her, one of our rules are we have 30-day refund policy. Yeah. And during this 30 days, this allows us to add up invoices that we paid, the scope of work that was done, go over that, etc. Just get everything in order with our attorneys, because anytime we get a job canceled, it's like we follow some guidelines and paperwork just saying like, hey, you agreed to terminate your contract, blah, 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 whatever. So during that process of those 30 days, maybe day 11, she was like, go downtown and file like
small claims or something like that?
Nah. This lady works downtown. She's worked in the whatever building down there, prosecutor's office or something for 15, 20 years. Okay. So she, I guess, pulled a few strings and had one of her friends file some paperwork saying that we committed grand theft against her. So it was like, for me, I'm like, grand theft shit, I'm doing business. This on my contract. I ain't worried about what you're talking about. Yeah. Until it was like later where they like I'm in court fighting like a felony grand theft charge, and I'm like, how? I'm like, this is business. Like, this is all on paperwork. I have a legal right to refund her within 30 days. Blah blah blah. So like, that was probably the worst situation I've ever had as far as just conducting business.
Do you own, or do you like buy properties yourself and fix them up and flip them, or are you just strictly just focused on the construction business? Doing renovations for other people.
I'm more focused on strictly on the construction business. Like, as far as buying properties and flipping them and stuff, if my schedule permitted it, then yes. But my schedule don't permit it. If we do buy something, it's just like for rent, as an investment, but it's not to flip it and like sell it or anything like that.
How many jobs do you take on like at a time?
It depends on the size of the project. Okay. So if I'm doing like say when I was doing the salon lofts, then that was just like the only project I did, and maybe like one other project or something like that, because there's going to be a period of time where I'm not there. So it's like, once we frame all the walls and hang all the drywall, now the plaster and the painter are going to go there for the next 2 weeks and do their part, or the electrician's going to come in for a week and do his. So it just depends on the size of the projects that we're currently working on.
You know, I said I only had a couple more questions, but now more questions are coming to me. So how often are you like in the job? Like, okay, you have like Michi salon lofts, right? Mm-hmm. Or whoever, Shop Essence, Tone, you know, so many people. How often would you be in there? Like, are you actually getting your hands dirty still, or now are you to the point where you're still kind of managing and overseeing, or are you still doing both?
No, I actually hate the office, the back behind the scenes part of the job. I'm more like, I prefer to just work, to be the hands-on, like that. But I'm out of the office once a week. I go to the office. Okay. I'm out of the field, and I'm in the office once a week. Okay. So besides that, my mom is my assistant, so she does all the like paperwork, all that kind of stuff like that. And then other than that, I'm pretty much in the field every day working.
Okay. So, and then if I have a job, let's say I had a job for you, and you quoted me $20,000 renovation project, labor and material. I accept it. I'm ready to go. Not giving any like details in your contract, but on a $20,000 job, how do you break down the deposits? You know, so like what's up front?
So we do half up front, and then you do payments after that. But see, here's the thing. Just say you say $20,000.
I know a lot of clients like, I'm not giving $10,000 up front.
Yeah. So you say you do $20,000 on labor and materials, right? Yeah. Even though I don't feel like I could give you labor and materials for that price. But however, depending on what we're doing. Yeah. So it's like, if I go spend $5,000, just say it's a kitchen, I can go spend $4,000 on cabinets, $3,000 on granite, $2,000 on floor. Like now, at the end of the week, I got to pay my employees out of my money. Yeah. Because you gave me $10,000.
I see.
And it's like, I done spent 8 of it on materials. Now that leaves me $2,000 to pay people until you're ready to pay again. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like one of them things where, you got to pay the half, or and sometimes half don't even cover everything. But we try not to go over the half mark.
What's your take on Cleveland? You've been here, doing business here 10 years. Do you see yourself continuing to do business in Cleveland, or do you see yourself like leaving? And how do you just feel about the city overall as an entrepreneur?
Overall, as an entrepreneur, I think it's like we have a lot of. I personally have worked with a lot of Black entrepreneurs, and I've enjoyed it. I think we have a lot. We have a lot to offer here, and compared to a lot of other cities, there's a lot of successful Black businesses here, more than I think people give credit for. Yeah, so I definitely like entrepreneurship here. However, I don't know how much longer I will. My passion is moving more towards teaching. Like I said, I started this at a young age, at 18, 19, and it's provided for me and my family, you know, throughout the whole time. And there's not many young black people involved in the trades, as far as even if you just don't take the entrepreneur route and you go a plumber, and union plumber makes 80, 90 grand a year. A union carpenter makes about 75 to 80 a year. Okay. Electricians makes 80 to 90. The plumber is like where the carpenter is like 75, somewhere in there. So I think my passion is just to get more people involved in the trades and our young people and stuff like that, or just to more so teach. Even as whether you're trying to start a construction company or you just want to learn certain skill sets that you can take. Yeah. But I'm not sure how much longer I want to actually do construction as far as direct to customer type basis. I think I'll always be passionate about it and always do it. So I think I would like flip houses and just sell them or something like that. I'll always be involved in construction, but I'm not sure if I want to do like customer to consumer type. I see. Projects.
I think the teaching thing is gonna be really dope. You don't get that. You see a lot of investors, real estate moguls, and investors giving courses and teaching, but there is a lack of people teaching the carpentry, the plumbing, the electrical, all that stuff. Like, we need more of that because Cleveland definitely needs more solid contractors, man. Yeah. So it's a lack that we have that needs to be that we need more of to get people on board, man. If I could just find I'm gonna put this out there. If I could find 2 solid contractors, okay, anywhere between $75,000 to $100,000 a year, you can make. But anyway.
There's another thing where here's my thing with the the investors type of thing. Yeah. It's like when you do a good project for an investor, then they want you to like keep working. So at a certain point, it's like you kind of lose that.
You stuck with them. You kind of
it's like you use that entrepreneurship type of vibe. It's almost like I work here now because it's like I'm only doing projects for this person. I only work for this person, which is not a bad thing.
Right.
But it gets repetitive too. And one of the things I love about the business is it's not repetitive. So like typically, you know, we're doing the same colors in a house. We're doing the same layouts. They're just repeating the process.
That's very true.
Right?
That's very
true.
One
of the things I like is it's not repetitive. So I can be in a hair salon this week and then a bar next week. It allows me to be creative, that open space.
You're absolutely correct.
So that's my only thing with the investors.
You are 100% correct. So for the contractors that don't want to be creative, that likes repetitive and consistency, give me a call.
Yeah, for sure.
Outside of that, man, do you think there might be any future LML Sarzo collabs?
For sure.
Man, we definitely
could get back to it.
Yeah,
sure.
It's been a while.
You know, maybe 1 or 2 a year, something like that. Just like I said, it's the repetitive for me. The repetitiveness. I said that all wrong, but it's that's what it is for me. I just like doing different stuff and keeping it. Just always being challenged or doing something. That's another thing why I say I don't know how much longer I do it. I feel like I can really do this in my sleep. Like I can do a kitchen, I can do a bathroom, I can build a bar, barbershop, salon, a store. Like it's not as challenging as it used to be.
Well, Rodney, man, you've been a great man. Once again, congratulations on 10 years in the business. That's major. That's major. You got such a bright future as far as what your goals and what you're aiming towards, and the teaching aspect will be a big key. As you know, on the show, I offer my guests lunch. I have Jamie Smith. You don't got to come on camera, Jamie, but what do we have today, Jamie? I'm gonna repeat it. Lamb chops, shrimp and ricotta ravioli, you said?
Yes,
and sauteed spinach. Well, that's what you're having for lunch today, man.
Let's eat.
All right, about to break bread.